The story opens with a flight passenger named Jeremy speaking into a recorded video. If you're watching this, know that we fought right to the very end. You have to believe me, it is real. If whatever this is on the plane gets on the ground, then but the scene shifts to before Jeremy boarded the plane. Traveling on this same flight, alongside him is a girl named Chloe. Her phone video is being reviewed inside a science lab. We're shown similar recordings from other passengers as well. Something happened on this flight, and all these videos are being stored as evidence. On the plane, Jeremy takes his seat beside an old man. A girl named Chin wraps foil paper around her head, afraid of the cosmic radiation up there. After takeoff, Chloe heads toward the washroom, but the old man, coughing hard, slips inside just before her. The other washroom is out of order, so Chloe walks up to use the first-class washroom. A first-class passenger named Darren blocks her. He calls the air hostess, Emma, and insists he paid good money for his seat and that just because she's a kid doesn't give her the right. Chloe returns to the rear washroom, but the old man still hasn't come out. Emma seats her nearby, and there Chloe meets Jeremy. Chloe is sharp and very intelligent. Both of them hear the old man coughing. The air hostess knocks on the lavatory door. For a long time, there's no answer. Finally, the old man steps out. "I'm so hot," he says, asking for aspirin. Fed up with the coughing, Jeremy switches his seat. Nearby, a woman named Lauren notices the old man's condition. The old man stares out the window. Something moves toward the plane. The moment he sees it, he begins screaming, "We are all going to die up here. It's not safe." When a boy named Taylor tells him to sit down, the old man attacks him. Passengers start recording. The old man begins pounding on the cockpit door. Lauren rushes over to pull him away. He bolts toward the airplane door, blood spilling from his mouth. He collapses to the floor. The air hostess calls the flight deck about the situation. Jeremy guides Emma through what to do since he's almost a doctor. Jeremy presses down on his chest again and again. The old man dies. Lauren, it turns out, is an air marshal. She tells them they're more than halfway to their destination and that ATC will instruct the captain to continue on. But outside, the weather turns. In the cargo hold, every dog begins barking wildly, loud enough that the passengers above can hear them. In the business compartment, another dog howls. The co-pilot goes down to check. The moment he speaks, every dog falls silent. Up top, Jeremy spots colorful lightning flickering through the clouds outside his window. He tells Emma about it. Seeing his state, Emma asks if he's having a headache. They tell Jeremy to try to sleep. But just then, across the cabin, Chloe's headache begins too. Lauren asks him whether this headache started after boarding the plane. She questions Jeremy about the lights too. "I saw those lights too," Chloe says. Jeremy notices blood trickling from Chloe's ear. Emma sees that Jeremy is bleeding as well. She tells all the passengers that anyone feeling sick should press the flight attendant button. Most of them press it. They notify the captain, who decides to divert, assuming they're dealing with an outbreak. The moment Darren hears about the diversion, he grows furious. He doesn't want to be late. Just then, a sound comes through everyone's wired headphones. It was electrical interference. Lauren tells Darren to calm down. That's when she notices his eye. Some kind of infection has spread across it, too. Just then, a bright pink light streaks past the front of the plane. The captain watches the thing fly right in front of them. He asks ATC if there's any military test tonight, but the officer's shift is ending. "I'll have it checked out," he says. "The next officer will get back to you." Then Jeremy sees another light outside his window. "They moved up on us," he says. "There is something up here." But the others are starting to think he's crazy. Emma requests that he please sit down calmly. Just then, the pilots learn there are military tests being performed tonight in their flight path. And now, Darren rises again, demanding to speak with the pilot. "I have been attacked." Lauren steps in and points a taser at him. She tases him. Then the pilots learn the military tests were canceled because they needed turbulence, and it's far too smooth tonight. Suddenly, clouds gather all around the flight. The plane begins veering off course. Their systems start to glitch. The pilot tells Emma that a Category 5 hurricane is forming in front of them. "So, we are landing immediately." But now they can't communicate with ATC. The electrical is failing. So, the co-pilot goes back down to check the breakers. And there the howling dogs see him and fall silent again. Meanwhile, Darren asks the woman seated beside him to untie him since neither of them is infected yet. Then it comes to light that the pilots have vanished from the cockpit. Lauren tells the air hostess the pilots aren't responding. "I need to go and check," but Darren blocks her path again. "You're infected." A few other first-class passengers back him up, but they turn out to be infected too. Terrified, Darren locks himself inside the washroom. Meanwhile, ATC receives word that there are 2 more planes missing from radar and radio contact. Now Emma sees the colorful lights too. They burn all around the plane. Chloe watches lightning strike the aircraft, and for a few moments, the gravity inside the plane disappears entirely. Everything starts floating. Then gravity returns. Everyone thinks they've landed, but outside, something still isn't right. It's a quarantine zone, a black site. Chin says he got something contagious, and they don't want us to spread it. She asks Lauren whether the FAA will now invent a plane crash story to tell everyone. One where the plane went down and no one survived. Her words frighten everyone. Lauren points the taser at her and tells her to calm down. I'm a federal air marshal, she says. But just then, they hear a strange high-pitched sound. The sound came from the old man's pacemaker. Jeremy says he isn't sick. Some kind of frequency is disrupting the electrical impulses. It's strong enough to give them headaches, rupture the blood vessels in their eyes, their mucous membranes. That's why the flight's communication isn't working either. He writes, not sick on paper. All the passengers stick it to their windows so the authorities outside can read it. But then sounds begin coming from atop the plane as if someone is walking across the roof. And then they see a massive creature outside trying to pry open the plane's door. A sphere of light passes through inside the plane. Darren's toilet seat opens on its own. Something emerges from it and latches onto his face. Darren stumbles out of the washroom. He pulls Taylor from the door and opens it. And from within the smoke outside, something attacks Taylor. Everyone scrambles to put on masks to escape the incoming smoke. In the chaos, Chloe's mom passes out. Then, an alien creature with multiple tentacles forces its way inside the plane. One by one, it begins killing everyone. Lauren fires at it, but a shield stops every bullet. Emma tries to force her way into the cargo compartment. The creature kills everyone. Only a few people manage to survive and reach the compartment beneath the cabins. And as Jeremy is heading down, the old man comes back to life in front of him. They switch on the vents to flush the gas out of this compartment. Lauren has no magazines left. Just then, Jeremy hears an access code being typed from above, but Brad grabs the door before it can open. Jeremy ties it shut with his belt, but one tiny creature has already gotten inside. They try to find it with their flashlights. The creature goes straight into Lauren's mouth. Lauren collapses to the floor unconscious. Jeremy checks her pulse. Then Lauren shoots upright. She can hear them in her head. She throws up that tiny creature which starts crawling around. Just then the belt loosens. Everyone runs, but Lauren grabs Brad and drags him back. So Brad sacrifices himself. But the creature's tentacles reach into the next compartment, too. Jeremy quickly jams a cargo container in the doorway and locks it in place. Now, maybe it won't be able to get inside, but the dogs in the cargo compartment are growling at them because they aren't dogs anymore. They realize these aliens are taking them over by getting inside them, so they have to find some way out of here. Jeremy opens the cargo compartment door, and there it becomes clear that they never landed at all. Their plane is floating in the air. They start searching the cargo for anything useful. Jeremy remembers that Chin's group had been talking about their skydiving parachutes. So Asher begins prying open a box with an axe, but Jeremy stops him, furious. Leave her alone. Inside this box is the coffin of Jeremy's dead wife. He tells them they were camping where she fell and tore her femoral artery. By the time he got back, his wife had died. Then they find the parachutes, but there are only 3. Jeremy tells them to carry Chloe out on one and says he'll stay behind. No, it's not fair, Chloe says. But Jeremy tells her it's okay. He promises Chloe he'll find a way. He tells everyone to unlock their phones so the evidence can be used. They'll put them in a packet and throw them down together. Each person records the video, so whoever finds them will know they reached the ground. And here Jeremy records the message we saw at the start of the story. But then Chloe hears her mom's voice from above. She's calling Chloe over. Chloe opens the door, and the alien's tentacles come pouring in. It starts dragging the others upward. Only Emma manages to jump free. Jeremy climbs inside a cargo container. So, Emma, falling through the air, suddenly stops. She looks up and sees an alien ship attached to their plane, pulling her back in. But the package of phones falls down to the ground, and an SOS signal activates. Inside the plane, those tiny creatures crawl into the passengers, and the people start coming back to life. One creature makes its way into the coffin of Jeremy's wife. 2. Jeremy climbs out of the container. He moves forward with an axe, but then he hears his wife's voice behind him. Stay with me. she says. You are not her, Jeremy says. But seeing her is making him emotional. Jeremy stops his wife's hand as it reaches toward him. She's trying to infect him, too. We can't be stopped, she says. They've already reached Earth. They're arriving on Earth every minute, and humans will never know they came until they're ready. They are here to take the human world one body at a time. Just then, Jeremy's flight contacts ATC and reports that the health concerns have cleared. We just have some mechanical issues. The flight's pilots are under the aliens' control, too. Jeremy comes up into the cabin. He walks in the middle of everyone, axe in hand. They all stare at him, but every one of them is under the aliens' control. They all act as if Jeremy is the crazy one. Lauren points a taser at him, so Jeremy holds the axe to Emma's throat and tells them to stay back. He storms straight into the cockpit and kills the pilots, but the pilots had already sent ATC the hijacking code. Jeremy takes the plane down. He was going to crash it, so these aliens couldn't reach Earth alive. But the plane's automatic landing system levels it out. Seeing this, Jeremy is crushed. The plane lands safely. Commandos storm inside and arrest Jeremy. He keeps trying to speak, but no one believes a word he says. And just like that, the aliens reach Earth comfortably disguised as humans.